As the blessed month of Ramadan comes to a close, Muslims around the world embrace the joy of Eid and the breaking of fast. But as Muslims transit from the month of heightened spirituality and reflection, it is expected that they carry forward lessons and discipline Ramadan has instilled in them. Today on Panorama, we will explore that which is expected of Muslims after Ramadan. How can they maintain the spirit of devotion, compassion and self-control that Ramadan fostered, and how can they continue the journey towards spiritual growth in the days ahead? Join us as we reflect on the significance of sustaining the values of Ramadan and ways they can be integrated into everyday life. Welcome to Panorama. I am Abubakar Musa. President Bola Tinubu says the interest of the citizens of the three Sahelian countries and the security of the sub-region must be taken into account, while ECOWAS continues consideration of a reconnection with the three countries that have pulled out of the bloc. The president said this after receiving his Ghanaian counterpart, John Mahama, who visited the Sahelian country. Military leaders recently. State House correspondent Musbau Danwaha completes the story.
President John Dramani Mahama on a visit to the Nigeria's presidential villa for the second time since he was re-elected for his second term as president of Ghana. It was a meeting of two long-time friends leading two neighboring countries with shared values and long-standing relations. A thank you visit from President Mahama to President Tinubu for his solidarity before and after his election. But then, the deliberation between the two leaders behind closed doors was apparently of greater importance to the peace, security, and most significantly, the regional integration of West Africa that is being waned with the withdrawal of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The Ghanaian president, after his inauguration barely 3 months ago, had visited the three dissenting countries.
It's my duty to come and brief him on some of the concerns that were raised there, so that we continue to see how to dialogue with those other countries.
Most definitely, sir, the region will be willing to have the three Sahelian countries back. Any good news from them?
Well, it's a complicated situation, and it's not as easy as we might think, but we just need to continue to dialogue and see how we can continue to cooperate together.
For the ECOWAS chairman, the consideration of the body is much more than the interests of the leaders in the sub-region, but the social and economic reflections as they affect the citizens of the three Sahelian countries.
To have a bridge between the AES countries and the ECOWAS is not a bad idea for us because of the security situation in the Sahel region and what economic opportunity that we must embark to ensure security of life and properties of our citizens. The innocent people in this episode are the citizens of those countries. Not much about us, the leadership. The citizens must be the first, beneficiary and the first part of reasons together.
This is the third leader from the sub-region to visit the three countries after President Foye Singbe of Togo and Bassirou Diomaye Faye of Senegal. The three Sahelian states completed their withdrawal from ECOWAS in January, but still within the 6-month ultimatum given by ECOWAS for their reconsideration. And just yesterday, Abramane Chane has been sworn in as the military president of Niger for a transitional period of 5 years. The reaction of ECOWAS is yet to be seen. From the State House, Musbau Danwaha, NTA News.
Musbau, the Sultan of Sokoto and President General, Nigeria's Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, has declared Saturday, 29 March 2025 as the first day to look for the new month of Shawwal, 1446 after Hijrah. This is contained in a statement by the Chairman, Advisory Committee on Religious Affairs, Sultanate Council, Sokoto, Professor Sambo Wali Junaidu, Wazir in Sokoto. It directed that if the new moon is sighted, the public shall contact the following GSM numbers: 080-3715-7100, 080-6630-3077, 080-3596-5322, 080-3594-5903, or 070-6714-6900 for onward communication to the Sultan. The declaration is in preparation for the Eid al-Fitr celebration, which marks the end of Ramadan. The Sultan's directive is in line with Islamic tradition, which relies on the sighting of the moon to determine start of the new month. Now, as Ramadan gradually comes to a close, Muslims are required to make a charity payment known as Zakat al-Fitr before Eid al-Fitr, the feast marking the end of fasting. This donation is made to the less fortunate and those in need. Tope Alabi in this report takes a look at the significance of Zakat al-Fitr in Islam.
قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى.
Zakatul Fitri or Jaka is a religious duty considered obligatory for every Muslim, regardless of age or gender, who has the means to give at the conclusion of Ramadan. Traditionally, 1 sa'a or 4 mudu of staple food in one's area, estimated to be about 14 tins or 2.5 to 3 kilograms, is given. Examples of staple food include rice, wheat, maize, beans, millet, or dates. Alternatively, many scholars allow the payment of the monetary equivalent of 1 sa'a of food, with local Islamic authorities announcing the current rate each year.
This Zakat al-Fitri, we were encouraged to give it out 2 or 3 days before Salah Day, so that the needy who will be given, at least on that Salah Day, everybody is expected to have something to cook for himself.
And you pay Zakat al-Fitr, by the head of the family will pay on behalf of all his members, the members of the family that are living under him.
The reason behind it is that Allah wants all of us to make ourselves happy on the day of Eid al-Fitr.
So this Zakat al-Fitr is of benefit to the recipient. It's also of benefit to the person giving out, because his Ramadan is accepted by Almighty Allah, and he has also perfected his lesson of giving out to others. So we don't just give at Zakat al-Fitr and go to sleep till next year. It is something we do for the next 11 months on voluntary and individual level.
Zakatul Fitri serves to feed the hungry and purify the fasted person of any transgressions committed during Ramadan. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever gives it before the prayer of Eid will have it accepted as zakat, while whoever gives it after the prayer will be considered to have given regular charity or sadaqah." Zakatul Fitr emphasizes the communal aspect of charity and the responsibility of Muslims to continue to contribute to the well-being of others, fostering a sense of unity and compassion. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Community distribute food and household items to IDPs for the past 7 years. The Muslim community in Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has been supporting displaced individuals at Wasa IDP's camp, also known as Malaysia's IDP's camp in Apo, by providing essential food items. This effort reflects their commitment to ease the affliction of the displaced and improve their living condition. Suleiman Abdul Wahab will now tell us more.
32-year Amina Muhammad is one of over 5,000 displaced individuals from Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states. Shared her heartbreaking story after insurgency. And despite their hardship, Amina and her fellow camp residents expressed gratitude for the anti-Muslim community's support, especially during Ramadan.
My village was burned down, Boko Haram. That is when I left my home of town and came here. That is why I'm in this camp. That's where I found myself in camp.
We really appreciate the effort of our beloved brothers from the NTA because every year they always remember the IDP of Malaysian Garden, on which they normally brought food items to share with the IDP.
Deputy Director of News, DDN, Mohammed Ali, emphasized that the NTA Muslim community will remain untiring in their support to those in need. He expressed confidence that the government will always be there to assist them and reassures in due time they will soon return to their various states, rebuilding their lives with hope and strength.
Even on the news, we've reported in NTA, and even our colleagues in Maiduguri have reported that peace is returning, and the governor is returning many IDPs back to their ancestral homes. So we are hoping that very soon the people in this camp will return to their places in Borno State so that they will continue with their normal lives.
Amina Mohammed, reflecting on the support she and her fellow camp residents have received, expressed hope for a brighter future. In Abuja, Suleiman Tobu Abdulwahab, NT News.
And still on issues that have to do with the sacred month, Ramadan, the holy month of fasting, reflection and devotion, is a significant period for Muslims worldwide. As the month concludes with the celebration of Eid al-Fitr, various expectations emerge among individuals and communities. These expectations can be categorized into spiritual, social, economic, and psychological aspects. Fatima Isa explores the key expectations people have after Ramadan and their impact on personal and societal well-being.
During Ramadan, Muslims engage in intense worship, including fasting, increased prayers, charity, and recitation of the Holy Quran. After Ramadan, many expect to maintain this heightened level of spirituality and discipline.
When you fast, it gives you a kind of discipline. You adapt yourself to almost every good behavior, and at least you become a reformed person. And that reformation should not be only during the Ramadan.
Do things that are expected from you in order to get reward from Almighty Allah is fasting.
Muslims believe that Ramadan is a time when sins are forgiven and prayers answered. Upon completion of the spiritual exercise, they expect their prayers and good deeds to be accepted by Allah as they seek to sustain the blessing gained through fasting and righteous living.
They should focus on the religion, that is worship Allah, as said by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After the fasting, you see most of them visiting their loved ones, their relations, their friends, and we hope that they will continue with their normal ibadah.
Ramadan fosters unity within families and communities through communal prayer, iftar gatherings, and acts of kindness, further strengthening family relationship as people become more compassionate and understanding in social interactions. These attributes are expected to be sustained after the fast. Fatima Isa, NTA News.
This is Panorama on the Nigerian Television Authority. Let's take a break here. We have more reports for you shortly. Glad to have you back as we reflect on the essence of Ramadan and the spiritual discipline it instills. We have with us an Islamic scholar, a lecturer with the Department of Arabic Studies, University of Maiduguri, Professor Yahuza Abdullahi Muhammad, who will share insights on how to sustain the values of Ramadan beyond the month itself. Professor Yahuza, Ramadan Mubarak to you.
Ramadan Mubarak, same to you.
All right, Prof, how can Muslims maintain the spiritual benefits they experienced during Ramadan?
Really, this holy month, if you are to go through the hadith, it has been categorized into three parts, Rahma, Maghfirah, and Itqu minan nar. That means Rahma means blessing, Maghfirah forgiving, and Itqu minan nar, that means escaping from the punishment. So you see, these three categories, it teaches that, okay, there are a lot of things accumulated by this month of Ramadan. So for you to maintain it is that how will you seek that rahmah? How will you seek that maghfirah? How will you seek that forgiveness? So if all these ones have been achieved, you are very successfully in the month. So therefore, we have to be very careful that this month is a month of avoiding bad things, avoiding all other sects of things. So you have to do good things within the month to avoid committing offense, crime, and other things in the month. So this is part of the teachings of the month, to make you pure, not impure. So we have to inculcate how to put pure things in our activities, in our word, in our etc. So because the month doesn't mean that you should stop eating, avoid drinking and other things. No, even you have to segregate your mouth, what to say and what not to say, because Allah is there watching you. So after you receive all this training, so we are expecting you as a Muslim to maintain this status all the life. Already.
It's so good to hear, so to say. Now, what kind of a fast is a Muslim expected to observe after Ramadan?
Okay, as we know, in Islam, there are two types of fast. One obligatory. The second one is non-obligatory. And we even have another one that is someone maybe because of one reason or the other, you may break your fast during the month of Ramadan and you have to do it again. So in the other days. Therefore, this non-obligatory Ramadan and other ones are Sittat Shawwal, that is 6 days after Ramadan for the completions of your Ramadan. So this is because Holy Prophet said that each good deed, Almighty Allah will pay you back with 10 multiple of it. So if you observe 30 days of Ramadan and you add 6 days of Shawwal, you see 36 days. So if you 36 days multiply by 10, I think it will give you 360 days of the year. So therefore, I think that is the reason why this non-obligatory fast should be observed by Muslims. And there are other non-obligatory fasts like Monday and Thursday, like Arafat Day, and others day in the year that you can observe. And even 3 days in every month, you can observe that one. That one, all we call them non-obligatory, but they are not obligatory. It's not compulsory, but you'll be given reward if you observe them. So therefore, they are very important for you to have addition. It's just like to say, as a civil servant, you may be having allowances or overtime because of one reason or the other. For those who maintain only salary, I think they are not equal to you. So that's it.
That's true. All right. Interesting, Professor Yahuza. Now, what steps can Muslims take to keep the obligation of fasting alive in their lives?
Okay, the step to follow to keep these experiences is that I told you that anything someone is doing in life, you must have knowledge of it. So knowledge of Islamic religion to a Muslim is very important. Without knowledge, you cannot know what to do. You cannot know what step to take. You don't know how to take it or when to take it. So you see, in the absence of knowledge, I think nothing can be done right. That's why the Prophet Muhammad said that we should seek Islamic knowledge, even if it takes us to sin China. So you look at the distance between where you are living and where China is. By then, there is nothing to climb there. No car, no aeroplane, no... You see, so the distance, but he's pushing you to go there because of the importance of it in your life. And secondly, it is not only for a certain age or for a certain gender or for whatever is it. It's generally. So seek Islamic knowledge wherever it is. And then before implementing anything in Islam, so the knowledge is based. Because you have to know your Lord. If you don't know your Lord, how will you be able to worship? It's just like an example. Take it. Somebody who is a little child crawling on the earth. You see, when he comes out, he finds a lion laying down. So he started playing with the neck of the lion. So one lion look at him and says, oh, this one, he doesn't know who am I. So he keep on. He turned his face away. But when the father come out of the house, they find his little kid You see, playing with the lion, so he ran back.
I wish we could go on and
Already.
on because of the importance attached to this discussion. In just one word, Professor Yehuza, can you share with us the significance of Eid celebration and how can it reinforce lessons learned during Ramadan in a nutshell, please?
Very good. I think Eid celebration is very important because it's a gathering sign of unity and sign of cooperation and a sign of harmony and sign of peace, and we are to share it because of the charity given out from the rich to poor and visiting of the family during the time, and then taking the status of Islamic society while going and while coming back from the Eid ground. All these are significant also in our Eid celebrations.
Professor Yehuza Abdullahi Muhammad, we cannot thank you enough for being part of Panorama today.
Thank you.
Here is wishing you a prosperous Eid al-Fitr celebration in advance.
Same to you.
Sports is next. Let's now join Olumide Eguntola for stories from the sporting world.
After match day 31st, Remo Stars Football Club sits comfortably on the table of the Nigerian Premier League with 60 points, while Shooting Stars of Ibadan drop vital points against the team's target of winning the league. And from Yenegua, Timinipri Hohea reports that at the ongoing Prosperity Cup tournament, Creek Evan All-Stars and Northern D strikers have proceeded to the next round of the tournament at the Panchia Center. Creek Evans All-Stars defeated Osaroy International FC on penalties after a barren draw during regulation time.
Winning is our portion. Creek Evans All-Stars is a team that you never beat. We are a team to be reckoned with.
In another development, the Maiden Governors Para-Swimming Classics, which ended at the swimming pool of the National Stadium Lagos, featured about 40 physically challenged athletes from various parts of the country that competed in 12 events. Put together by the Para-Swimming Federation of Nigeria, the athletes were engaged in a 4-day scientific training that preceded the swimming championship.
Help these people economically, take blinds out of the road, take disabled out of the road, bring them into sport.
And from Plateau State, Ekemeren Kane Gladoja reports that the Association of Nigerian Women in Sport, NAWIS, has launched its Plateau State chapter, aiming to boost women's sports development and opportunities in Nigeria. Themed Anchoring Women's Resilience for Sports Participation, Strategic Pathway for Nigeria. The inauguration marks a significant step towards empowering Nigerian women in sports.
We are reaffirming our commitment to promote women's sports development here in Plateau State and in the country as a whole.
And in tennis, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka reached the Miami Open final with a comprehensive straight-set victory, 6-2, 6-2 win over Italy's Jasmine Paolini. This is our first Miami final slated for Saturday. The second semi-final is between Alexandra Ella and Jessica Pegula. With sports update, Olumide Eguntola, NTA News.
Thank you, Olumide, and that's Panorama today from NTA Maiduguri Network Center. From myself, Abubakar Musa, and the whole team is do have an enjoyable Eid al-Fitr celebration. Please stay safe.